Welcome to the fascinating world of ecological niche modeling. In this video, we'll explore how scientists predict where species live, why they thrive in certain places, and how their environments shape their existence. Understanding ecological niches is crucial for conservation, predicting species responses to climate change, and managing biodiversity. We'll break down the key concepts, from tolerance limits to advanced modeling techniques, and see real-world examples that bring these ideas to life. Let's begin our journey by asking a fundamental question: what determines where a species can survive and thrive? Species distributions are shaped by a complex interplay of environmental factors. Every species has certain conditions it can tolerate. Think of temperature, moisture, or sunlight. If these conditions fall outside a species' tolerance limits, individuals can't survive, grow, or reproduce. This means that the presence or absence of a species in a particular area is not random, but dictated by these environmental boundaries. As we move forward, keep in mind that these tolerance limits are the foundation for understanding where species are found in nature. Tolerance limits exist for all important environmental factors. For example, a fish might survive only within a certain temperature range, while a plant may need a specific amount of rainfall. If conditions stray too far from these limits, the species struggles or disappears. These boundaries are not just theoretical, they have real, observable impacts on where species can be found. Understanding tolerance limits helps ecologists predict how species might respond to environmental changes, such as global warming or habitat loss. Not all environmental factors are equally important for every species. Sometimes a single critical factor, like soil pH for certain plants or oxygen levels for aquatic animals, can be the main determinant of where a species can live. In other cases, several factors interact, creating a complex web of influences. Ecologists must consider both the most limiting factor and the combined effects of multiple variables when studying species distribution. This approach helps us understand why some species are widespread while others are restricted to specific habitats. Many species, it's not just one factor that matters but the interaction of several. For example, a plant might need both the right temperature and enough sunlight to thrive. If either is lacking, the plant may not survive. These interactions can make predicting species distributions challenging, but they also highlight the complexity and beauty of nature. By studying how multiple factors work together, ecologists can build more accurate models of where species are likely to be found. Let's take a closer look at how these factors interact. Imagine a graph where different environmental variables are plotted against species abundance. You'll often see that abundance peaks within a certain range of conditions and drops off outside those limits. This visualization helps us understand why some areas are rich in certain species while others are not. It also underscores the importance of considering multiple variables when modeling ecological niches. Organisms differ in how broad their tolerance ranges are. Some species can survive across a wide range of conditions, making them adaptable and widespread. Others have very narrow tolerance ranges, restricting them to specific habitats. For example, a generalist species might thrive in many environments, while a specialist is limited to a particular niche. This distinction is key for understanding why some species are common and others are rare. Ecologists distinguish between a species' fundamental niche and its realized niche. The fundamental niche is the full range of environmental conditions a species could theoretically use. However, in reality, species often occupy a smaller, realized niche due to competition, predation, or historical factors. This means that even if a habitat seems suitable, a species might not be present because of these additional constraints. Understanding this difference is crucial for accurate ecological modeling. Better understand the distinction between fundamental and realized niches. Imagine a diagram where the fundamental niche is a large area, and the realized niche is a smaller subset within it. The reduction from fundamental to realized niche is caused by factors like competition with other species, predation, and historical dispersal limitations. This visualization helps clarify why species don't always occupy all the areas they could potentially survive in. Niches are not static. The realized niche of a species can shift over time due to changing biotic interactions, environmental changes, or the species' ability to disperse to new areas. For example, as climates warm, some species may expand their range while others contract. These shifts are important for predicting how species will respond to future environmental changes and for planning conservation strategies. Fundamental niche itself can also change, but this usually happens over longer timescales through evolutionary adaptation. When a species evolves new traits, its tolerance limits may expand or contract, allowing it to exploit new environments or become more specialized. This evolutionary process is a key driver of biodiversity and helps explain how species adapt to changing conditions over generations. Two species compete for the same resources, they can't occupy exactly the same niche indefinitely. This is known as the law of competitive exclusion. The outcome is either the extinction of one species or niche partitioning, where each species adapts to use different resources or occupy different spaces or times. This process allows multiple species to coexist in the same ecosystem by reducing direct competition. Classic example of niche partitioning is seen in barnacle species like C.H. thamellus and balanus. These species occupy different zones on rocky shores, reducing competition by specializing in slightly different habitats. This spatial separation allows both species to survive in the same general area without directly outcompeting each other. Such examples illustrate how nature finds balance through subtle adjustments in species niches. Ecological niche modeling is a scientific approach that uses computer algorithms to predict where species are likely to occur based on environmental data. It's also known as species distribution modeling, predictive habitat modeling, or climate envelope modeling. By combining species occurrence records with environmental variables, these models create mathematical representations of a species' ecological niche. The process starts with collecting data on where a species has been observed. These are called occurrence records. Next, scientists gather environmental data for those locations, such as temperature, rainfall, or soil type. Computer algorithms then analyze the relationship between species presence and environmental conditions, producing a model that predicts where the species could potentially live. There are several techniques used in ecological niche modeling. Profile techniques like BIOCLIM and domain use environmental envelopes. Regression-based methods such as generalized linear models, GLM, and generalized additive models, GAM, analyze statistical relationships. Machine learning approaches including MAXCNT artificial neural networks and random forests can handle complex nonlinear data. Each method has strengths and is chosen based on the research question and data available. One main purpose of ecological niche modeling is to approximate a species distribution. By understanding the environmental conditions a species needs, scientists can predict where it might be found, even in areas that haven't been surveyed. This is especially useful for discovering new populations or planning conservation efforts in unexplored regions. Model outputs are often visualized as maps, showing areas where conditions are suitable for a species. These maps can reveal potential habitats that haven't been surveyed yet, helping researchers focus their efforts. They also provide a visual summary of complex data, making it easier to communicate findings to policymakers and the public. Another important application is modeling potential niche habitats, especially for invasive species or diseases. By predicting where a harmful species might spread, managers can take preventative action. This approach is also used to forecast the spread of diseases under changing climate conditions, helping protect both biodiversity and human health. Ecological niche models are also used for site selection and conservation priority setting. By analyzing habitat suitability, scientists can identify the best locations for protected areas or restoration projects. This ensures that conservation resources are directed where they will have the greatest impact, supporting long-term biodiversity goals. Species diversity analysis is another key application. By modeling the niches of multiple species, researchers can identify biodiversity hotspots and areas of high conservation value. This information is vital for prioritizing conservation actions and understanding the ecological processes that maintain diversity in different regions. Accurate occurrence records are the foundation of ecological niche modeling. These records can come from field surveys, museum specimens, or digital databases. Importantly, they must be georeferenced, meaning each record includes precise location coordinates. This allows models to link species presence with environmental conditions at specific sites. Environmental variables are just as important as occurrence records. Common variables include temperature, precipitation, and a suite of bioclimatic factors. These variables are often collected at different spatial resolutions, such as 1, 5, or 10 kilometers, and cover large geographic areas. The choice of variables can greatly influence model accuracy and interpretation. WRLDCLIM is a widely used source of environmental data for niche modeling. It provides global climate data, including monthly temperature and precipitation, as well as 19 bioclimatic variables. The data is available at various resolutions, making it suitable for both local and global studies. Using standardized datasets like WRLDCLIM ensures consistency and comparability across studies. Latest version of WRLDCLIM, version 2, offers improved accuracy and updated climate data. Researchers rely on this resource for up-to-date environmental variables, which are essential for building reliable ecological niche models. The availability of high-quality data supports more precise predictions and better-informed conservation decisions. Modeling process typically follows 4 main steps. First, gather occurrence records. Second, collect relevant environmental variables. Third, use these data to define the current ecological niche. Finally, project the niche onto new areas or future scenarios. Each step requires careful attention to data quality and model assumptions to ensure reliable results. Models are only as good as the data that goes into them. Calibration challenges include insufficient or biased occurrence records and the use of irrelevant or low-quality environmental variables. These issues can lead to inaccurate predictions and misinterpretations. Careful data selection and validation are essential for building robust models. Projecting models to new areas or future climates, additional challenges arise. Inaccuracies in climate reconstructions, dispersal limitations, and non-analogous climates can all affect model reliability. Furthermore, evolutionary changes can shift species niches, making predictions even more complex. Recognizing these limitations helps researchers interpret model results with appropriate caution. It's important to remember that models are simplifications of reality. Misinterpreting model outputs can lead to poor management decisions or misguided conservation efforts. Researchers must communicate the uncertainties and assumptions behind their models, ensuring that users understand both the strengths and limitations of the predictions. Maxent is one of the most popular software tools for ecological niche modeling. It uses a machine learning approach to estimate the probability distribution of a species' presence based on environmental variables. Maxent is widely used because it performs well with limited data and provides intuitive outputs that are easy to interpret. Let's look at a real-world example, the Australian rock orchids or Dendrobium speciosum complex. Researchers used ecological niche modeling to study how these orchids have evolved and adapted to past and future climates. By combining genetic analyses with niche modeling, they gained insights into the evolutionary history and potential future of these fascinating plants. Biology, a species complex is a group of closely related species that are so similar in appearance that their boundaries are often unclear. Studying species complexes is challenging but important, as it helps clarify evolutionary relationships and informs conservation strategies. Niche modeling can reveal subtle differences in habitat preferences among closely related species. Dendrobium speciosum, a member of the Australian rock orchid complex, provides a fascinating case for niche modeling. By mapping its distribution and analyzing environmental preferences, researchers can better understand its ecological requirements and predict how it might respond to environmental changes in the future. To complement niche modeling, researchers use molecular genetic analyses. Techniques like AFLP, NeighborNet, and Bayesian clustering help identify genetic differences among populations. These methods provide a deeper understanding of evolutionary relationships and can reveal hidden diversity within species complexes. Biogeographic analyses, combined with ecological niche modeling, offer powerful insights into how species have spread and adapted over time. By reconstructing past distributions and projecting future scenarios, scientists can anticipate how species might respond to environmental changes, guiding conservation and management decisions. Profile techniques such as BIOCLIM and domain are among the earliest methods used in ecological niche modeling. They define the environmental envelope within which a species is found, based on observed occurrences. While simple, these methods provide a useful starting point for understanding species' environmental requirements. Regression-based techniques such as generalized linear models (GLM), generalized additive models (GAM), and multivariate adaptive regression splines (MARS) analyze the statistical relationship between species presence and environmental variables. These methods can handle complex data and provide interpretable results, making them popular in ecological research. Machine learning techniques such as MAXCNT artificial neural networks (ANN), genetic algorithm for rule set prediction (GARP), boosted regression trees (BRT), and random forest (RF) have revolutionized ecological niche modeling. These methods excel at handling large, complex datasets and can uncover patterns that traditional techniques might miss. Support vector machines (SVM) are another powerful machine learning tool used in ecological niche modeling. SVMs are particularly effective at classifying complex, high-dimensional data, making them suitable for distinguishing subtle differences in species' environmental preferences. Suitability analysis uses niche models to evaluate how well different areas meet the needs of a species. This information is crucial for prioritizing conservation actions, such as selecting sites for protected areas or restoration. By focusing efforts on the most suitable habitats, conservationists can maximize the effectiveness of their work. Climate envelope modeling is a specific type of niche modeling that focuses on the climatic conditions a species can tolerate. By mapping these envelopes, scientists can predict how species distributions might shift under different climate change scenarios. This approach is widely used in forecasting the impacts of global warming on biodiversity. Georeference data records with precise location coordinates are essential for accurate niche modeling. Without this information, it's impossible to link species presence to specific environmental conditions. Advances in GPS technology and digital databases have greatly improved the availability and accuracy of georeferenced occurrence records. The spatial resolution and geographic coverage of environmental data can influence model results. High-resolution data allows for more detailed predictions, while broader coverage supports large-scale analyses. Researchers must balance these factors based on their study goals and the availability of data. Combining molecular genetics with ecological niche modeling provides a powerful approach for studying evolution and adaptation. Genetic analyses reveal how populations are related, while niche models show how environmental factors shape their distributions. Together, these methods offer a comprehensive view of species' past, present, and potential futures. Ecological niche modeling is a vital tool for understanding and managing biodiversity in a changing world. By integrating occurrence records, environmental data, and advanced modeling techniques, scientists can predict species distributions, guide conservation efforts, and anticipate the impacts of climate change. As technology and data quality continue to improve, niche modeling will play an even greater role in safeguarding the planet's rich diversity of life.